Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night, wherever you may be, and welcome back to the channel. And welcome back to another edition of HCW Show Squared, the show to take the usual format or formula of the fun HCW Show podcast and inspires the power of, you guessed it, two. I'm your host, as always, Dan, DP, as we all say nowadays, DpuizY, yeah. And I am joined by someone who, we've been back and forth in trying to get this person back on, and for whatever reasons, it's not been able to happen.
We just keep passing.
Just strangers in the wind. Just. But
I am here now.
She is here now. I am joined by DpuizY Nikki, by which I mean she's not a private investigator, not yet anyway.
No,
you can in fact pencil her in. It's penciled in, Nikki.
Hello. Living up to my name.
Oh, how are you doing?
I'm doing all right. I've missed it. I've missed chatting NXT with yous.
Honestly, we've missed having you. Craig's on assignment, so he can't be here, unfortunately. But I'm sure he would what's the word? Reciprocate the sentiment.
I'll get him next time.
You'll get him next time. Don't worry. I mean, at least without him here, we've got Tangents and me, who doesn't know how to move on from them. So this is going to be a 6-hour podcast, everyone. Woo!
We could do one of those charity streams, you know.
just talk at NXT.
The time would fly. We wouldn't notice.
We spent 6 hours talking about a 1 hour 20-minute episode of NXT. That has to be like a Guinness World Record, right? Just talk about just one show for 6 hours, like 12 hours, even though it's like a fraction of the time.
I'm sure out there somewhere there is a podcast where they've talked for about 7 hours about one show or just one match.
Oh god, probably is, yeah.
And that's dedication. That's more dedication than I have, because I'd have gone on about 7 other topics first.
Yeah. I've got to say, at second 5 of the first bell, I really like the way that their left foot went forward a step.
Oh yeah,
you know,
yeah. There's hesitation, not a full commitment. I'm not sure.
Exactly, and
Let's not. Let's not.
But no, before we get too outrageous on this, it is NXT. NXT for the 5th of November. NXT HCW, whatever you want to call it. This is the ECW edition of NXT. So let's see how extreme the show gets. So first thing we see is men's NXT champion Trick Williams sitting down at a Geno's with Bobby Dudley.
Yes.
That's pretty extreme.
Yeah. Pretty out there.
Yeah.
Straight off the bat.
We also see Javon Evans checking out the sites. Cool. We see all the female heel team. So the 5 women, Fatal Influence and Roxanne and Cora, they walk in a line, a very specifically like a thin line, like straight. They must walk in this formation, and they walk by the river.
Yes. We're setting the scene. They're establishing shots.
Of course, yes. But you know, I don't know about you. But when I was with my friends,
they have to make us aware we were in Philadelphia.
Of course. Like
they had to be like without like I mean, in case you know it being repeated on commentary and everything repeatedly, in case we weren't sure, we were in Philadelphia. Yeah. We knew by the end of this little intro we were in Philadelphia.
Of course, yeah. I mean, where else could they have been? You know.
You know.
But thankfully, we had the entirety of the show to remind us where we were.
Yes. Thank the Lord. Because I'd have forgot.
Yeah.
I did actually really enjoy that intro. It did feel pretty cool.
Yeah.
It kind of almost felt Well, it was a special, so it did make it feel special, you know. But it was very dramatic, and I did enjoy it. But yeah, it was funny. It was very Philadelphia, Philadelphia, Philadelphia.
Very in your face.
Yeah.
So yeah, we kick things off in the ring with HCW alumni Dawn Marie. So I guess we know where we're going with this. But just get aware, we're in Philadelphia, everyone, and it is time for match 1. It is the special.
What a match, though!
It's the special guest referee hardcore match. We're already mixing 2 stipulations that didn't need to be mixed. We've got referee as the way. Dawn Marie's here as Lola Vice takes on Jada Parker. So who would come out on top in this hardcore affair? Well, the answer was Jada Parker.
Jada. I'm so happy. I'm so happy she won.
Yeah.
She killed it.
Absolutely. I rated this 4 stars, and I will say right now, like, this is the highest. This is the highest it'll be for my ratings.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed how outlandish it was. I enjoyed the chaos of it all. Like, I enjoyed the fact that this feud didn't need a hardcore match, but they still went out there and performed their all. You know, like this was phenomenal.
They did. They said on commentary, and I'm not sure how correct they were, but they did say that this was the first hardcore match in NXT, as in with the name hardcore. So they've had stipulations, street fights, ambulance cats. They've had all of those, which obviously comes under that umbrella of hardcore. But they said on commentary that it was the first hardcore match they've had in NXT. I don't know if that's the case. I don't know if they meant women's, or I didn't get to research it beforehand, but they mentioned that, and if that's the case, that's really cool as well, that it was you know, it started the show, women starting the show, hardcore match, the whole thing. It was really great straight out of the bat. The energy in the room, the crowd are really they were down for it.
Yeah.
The chants, they were on fine form. The Philly crowd are always great, though.
Absolutely, yeah. But despite all that, it's a shame that the actual broadcaster wasn't on side. The broadcaster, the CW. I don't know what feed you watched or feed you had, but I had the American one.
I'm not sure. Right.
So every time there was chants, because it's Philly, they're being quite, you know, loud. Silent. And they're being quite, you know.
Yeah.
What's the word? Like, they're swearing a lot, right?
Yeah, so no, the mute.
They just mute it, like, the entire thing.
Yeah. Yeah. There was a couple of times where it'd be like, it'd mute down, and then it just, they gave up and just muted the whole thing for a couple of seconds. But it's so frustrating. I understand they've got to do that, but it's so frustrating because that gives part of the energy and the excitement of the match, but we still got to catch. I mean, you can fill in the blanks. We've been to live shows, so we know what people are chanting. It's like, but yeah, the energy in the arena, the ladies, they got in there and they absolutely threw it out. They both had great big smiles on their faces. Did you notice? They were just having the best time, just killing each other. It was just like pulling out tables with a big smile, like, yeah. And they were having the best time. They've got great chemistry, so like you say, it didn't need this match, but I'm glad they had it, because Lola has shown multiple times that she's badass. You know, she's done the stuff with Shayna Baszler, all that. She's legitimately quite the badass. And Jada has had a couple of flourishes where she's been able to show that a little. She really got to show that on this show and to come out on top. And the break, that was a nice touch. So I thought both of them absolutely killed it. And I'm really glad that Jada won as well. So I think we're getting some like kind of more, aggressive women's matches now on NXT, and that's exciting. So thank you.
I want to believe that is the case, but I feel like it was only that way because it was the HCW show.
Yeah, but I'm hoping that the response to it might encourage them.
Hopefully.
Because Shawn Michaels and whoever else, and Trips, I think, definitely listened to their audience a little bit more than in days past, I think. Yeah. And even Shawn took a few risks, an ECW show kind of thing. He started the show and closed the show with women's matches and stuff, and he shows a lot of faith in his roster, and I think that if he sees the reaction that got, we might see a little bit more within the realms of what they can actually do, like because of the channel and stuff like that. Yeah. I'm excited for what that could possibly mean, even if it's just every now and again, or we get like an Extreme Rules kind of style pay-per-view where the matches are actually Extreme Rules, because that's the point.
Yeah.
We didn't get that. They stopped.
But like, this match was just insane, and I loved it. And one thing I made note of here as well was it was quite heelish because obviously Jay's playing the heel here, like by default. But Lola brings out a table. Jay was like, no, and puts it back under.
It's such a heel move.
But then
you got that pop and that boo.
I'm just there, and we can like, oh, okay, so no one keeps tables until Dudley's been on then. Like,
yeah, no tables.
Yeah, just no tables whatsoever. We'll tease it, but nope.
We know they're there though. But what I also liked, I should say, about the match is usually, like, even on main, we're having a hardcore match, and we end up with like 10 chairs in the ring, a few kendo sticks, and maybe a bin or something. This was like immediate chaos. The ring was trashed. We had bins, we had ladders, we had tables being pulled up, put back in, chairs, and everything was being used, and the ring just looked a mess. Like, they had thrown everything out, like, right, we're just gonna pick 10 shades out of each other, and they used everything. And the bin spot, when she lays, like, kind of sat, and there's another bin behind her, and Lola kicks her, that was pretty freaking brutal.
It was.
Yeah, no, I was really impressed. It immediately felt very ECW, just chaos.
Yeah, I liked as well, like, Jayla hitting the teardrop off the ladder onto Lola onto a ladder.
Ooh, Oxix.
Yeah.
That looks so. But like both women, absolutely just. They knew what the assignment was. They clearly enjoy that style. They looked like they were both in their element. I'd love to see more of like them. Lola has won me over. Like, she won me over a while ago, but she won me over, and I was on board with Jada from the get-go, so I loved it. So I'd go with 4 stars too.
That's fair. Yeah. I mean, I'll say I'm on the opposite end of that spectrum. In that, I've always been on Lola's. Like, Lola's always been on my radar, and Jada wasn't. But now Jada absolutely is. Like, Jada's proven it, like, over the last few months or so. Like, and it helped because she dropped, for the most part, OTM.
Yeah, when she went on her own.
Yeah, that helped because OTM were dragging her down. I don't mean it in a bad way to Bronco Nima and to Lucian Price, but
no,
they weren't given the same treatment as Jada was.
She stood out as well. She's very charismatic. She talks really well. Like, her promos, when Reggie was with them, I'll be doing their promos, but whenever she speaks, you immediately kind of like, you believe her. She's the most believable. And I think people are just a bit more drawn to her, so she naturally kind of stood out from them. And being with them kind of held her back a little bit, and being able to flourish like this, I can't wait to see what she's going to be doing in the next few months, in all honesty. I think that was a really good match for her.
Yeah, absolutely agree. But we move on. We are outside. We are by the Rocky Balboa statue. Ethan Page is here with everyone's favorite Ridge Holland.
Yeah.
And again, just in case you forgot where we are, we're in Philadelphia.
Right.
Because that is where the statue is. So yeah, it's just a generic promo where it's like, oh, you know, Ethan wants the title, but I need the title, but we're gonna put away our differences to come together to fight the evil that is Trick and Dudley.
We're gonna coexist.
Yeah.
Yay! I'm. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I will say, I am really enjoying Ethan because I've been a fan of Ethan Page for a while from when he was in like AEW and stuff, and so I am really happy to see him being used regularly.
Yeah.
He looks great. He's wearing those glasses. He and Ridge looked great, like side by side. They kind of didn't realize actually how big they both are, like kind of together. But I'm confused by the pairing, but I was ready to roll with it.
You know, we're combining Trix's ex with Trix's future lover. You know, like. I don't know.
Yeah.
I do. It's like you said. It's okay. It's like okay. It was there. Like.
Yeah. Yeah. It served its purpose.
Yeah. To remind you where we are.
Yeah.
You know, and where was that, Nikki?
Philadelphia.
There you go. Philadelphia. We go backstage. It's Kalani Jordan, the former Women's NXT North American champion. She's stretching her legs, the RVD style. When, of course, who else is there but RVD?
Oh, damn show. I love when it just panned out and he's like,
yeah.
How are you?
Yeah, he's just chilling. He's there. He's giving her some advice, basically. And it was like, yeah, you should be doing that. Yeah.
You should stand out and you should do that by beating Fallon.
Yes.
She's like, yeah, I should do that, and then she does this cute little thing or whatever it was. I can't remember.
I like how they completely forgot last week as well. Like where Kalani specifically said to Jordan and Zaria, like, "Oh guys, can you leave Fallon for me?"
She'd already said that. She called that herself, but he gave her the idea. It's fine.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it was cute. It was a nice way to introduce him being there.
Yeah, absolutely. He is, unfortunately for RVD, that's not the end of it, because he's then attacked by one Westopher Lee, who claims that he has made the Wes like, oh, you know, I made a choice for you, Rob. You're welcome.
Yeah, he was really dark about it. He was like, and then he kind of like went back off, and then just he was really good. I loved it.
Yeah,
he was pretty dark about it. Like I really enjoyed this like edgy Wes, but just you can't hang backstage too long or in the car park when it's around NXT. It's just violent.
I will say the issue I had with this though was it pans to RVD on the floor, and he's clearly wearing his ring gear.
Yeah, you just got to assume that everybody's like Pac. I just assume that Pac is always just in his trunks. Always.
Wherever he goes in public, he's just.
Because supermarket is in his trunks. Stay ready so he doesn't have to get ready. And I'm just going to say that about Rob. Fair. He was ready. Obviously not ready enough because he still got hit by a chair, but he was ready. Yeah. He's ready. So.
Oh,
he could have just asked me how I had made my decision. I was heading to Ava's office.
After this, we get a segment that is, as we all know, earlier today, where Tony D is here and the family are also here, and they're confronted by Shawn Spears and Brooks Jensen, and that lasts for all of about 2 seconds, because, more importantly, it's the FBI! The full-blood Italians are here to just cut off Shawn Spears, and I'm like, thank you. It was like, Shawn Spears is there with Brooks Jensen, and they're like, hey, Tony. And Tony's like, huh? And then this is like, never mind that, here's the FBI.
Yeah, just off you go. Yeah. I forgot that even happened. And I watched it again like 45 minutes ago.
But yeah, it's Nunzio and Tony Marmaluke, the full-blood Italians, of course, the HCW faction. Pardon me. So yeah, Tony's here in a suit, and he informs Rizzo that he's made a call to Ava and secured her a match with Nikita Lyons next week. Cool.
Thanks. Why? Why is he doing that? she was really like, oh yeah, all right, thanks. I'd be like, excuse me, sir. Why?
Yeah,
what did I do to deserve that?
Also, what favours have you got to pull with Ava that you can just book matches?
Yeah. I'm interested. A couple of people have said that, like, oh, I've put a call into Ava. So now it's like, Ava sounds like this really... She said Ava's come on leaps and bounds. I love Ava. They're making this really big character, for me anyway. It's like, put a call into Ava.
But it's, to me, it's like, you know, like those old school like detectives in like America, like all black and white or sepia filter, and it's like Ava is in her office waiting for phone calls, like, hello, can it, what's your booking suggestion? Was that Rizzo and the Lions this week? Oh yeah, that's perfect. Yes, I'll let them know.
Stamps, the big stamps is booked.
He just sends the request form through. It's like boom.
Yeah, puts it in a file thing.
That's how I picture her now, because it's just everyone's like, oh, yeah. I called Ava. I spoke to Ava. Yes, I got this booked. Yes, I suggested it. It got booked. Yes, great.
It's just like, you know what? I don't even have to plan this stuff. They're all just going to ask me for matches, and it's going to be fine. So you just start with killing.
I mean, at what point though?
I love it.
When it's like, Ethan Page is like, I want a title match against Trick. He loses. I want another against Trick. Okay. I want another one against Trick. Yeah. Okay.
So he ended up in a vortex.
Yeah. I
mean, but we're almost there. We're almost in a vortex. No, that was an interesting little interaction. It was fun. It got a big pop.
Yeah, exactly. I didn't mind it because it also confirmed the voice from last week for Tony's phone call.
Yeah, everybody thought. Yeah.
And then it was like, and then Nutzy tells Tony that he's disrespecting the family, that he's got to pay the tax now, and that tax is a North American title match against himself.
I loved it, the audacity. I love how he's like, oh, I didn't mean any disrespect. He's not. No, the disrespect's already been felt. So
yeah, so
this is
owe me a title match.
I loved it. It was brilliant. Yeah, just a bit of nostalgia in it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I loved it. We'll get to that later on, but I love this segment.
Yeah. Yeah, it was fun.
It was just stupid, but I like that stupidity.
Freaky wrestling for life.
Exactly. So we go on to match 2. It's a singles match between BpuizY, Javon Evans, and Wesley.
The two jumpy guys.
The two jumping beans of the roster.
Guys, yeah. I love them both as well, so I was excited about this match.
Who would jump higher on their route to victory? The answer would be the young OG, BpuizY, Javon Evans.
Hey, Javon.
He wins with a very weird leap of faith frog splash. Like, he jumped on the length of the ring.
The cameras did him dirty on that.
Yeah.
They did him dirty on that. I don't know why they kept the framing on it. I'm sorry, I'm going to get really thinking. The framing on it is terrible. Why he's up in this corner of the shot and you can't even see Wes, which I know is supposed to like show us that there's a distance. Fine. Why does it stay in that shot? It could have like, and the framing's terrible, but they could have just like cut to the other side so that he's, you know, like he's facing on. They did him dirty on that cut. They really did. It was supposed to be a Rob Van Dam kind of little tribute move, and it didn't quite.
You could have done
get it
either
all.
a wide shot to get the entirety of the ring, or do an above shot.
Yeah, but we had to go for this weird little camera at this weird little corner angle. It was don't do that.
And it's weird because Javon, as we all know, he's very young and he's still quite new in his career. So naturally, there's going to be a few hiccups here and there. So
yeah,
he doesn't hit the move perfectly.
No,
and that is caught blatantly on camera.
Yeah, he didn't get it all in, as we like to say.
Yeah.
He didn't get it all in.
Yeah.
But he, they could have. I think they did him a little bit dirty on the mix there. Because you know, we've seen before now, like super kicks that you could drive a bus through, but when they cut the other side, it doesn't look so bad.
Yeah.
But and like, I thought he was a little bit hurt, to be fair, when he pulled himself up onto that turnbuckle. Really, because he couldn't get that extension. We've seen him jump that distance countless times. We've all seen him, but like you say, it's developmental, and he's still very early in it, and he's been killing it. But there are going to be missteps. There's going to be misjudgment. It's going to happen. It's just a shame that it was so kind of blatant. I hope he didn't catch too much. I didn't see much on the Hell site about it, so I'm hoping that people didn't really get too hung up on it.
No, I don't think they did. I think the main argument was that it looked a little off in places, because it was. I think Javon did get a slight knock somewhere in that match, because
I think he got knocked early on. There was something not quite right with him, bless him.
But of course, him being himself, he's going to keep going, and like you know, goddamn his limbs, like.
Still did a great match. Him and Wes have got great chemistry.
Absolutely, they do.
And it's always great to see Wes in a ring. You know, especially after his injury and being able to move the way that he can move. So it was a good match. Was it as good as I know they can have? No, but that doesn't make it a bad match.
No, not at all. So I rated it 3.5 stars. Like, it's still
fair.
It's still pretty good. It's just I reckon, you know, if Javon hadn't got knocked, when he got knocked, if it didn't have the RVD interference in the end, like
that kind of felt awkward as well. But you know,
it was all kind of weird. It was just a way to I think to me it was just a way to shoehorn in another, you know, HCW alumni sort of thing.
Yeah, the nostalgia pop.
Yeah, exactly.
It's great. But yeah, it felt a little bit like like and I think that kind of did something to the flow.
I don't know. Have you seen RVD before his appearance here? Like recently?
Recently?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I've seen some of his interviews.
I mean, so he's what's the word? He's hairsprayed. So he's got like the hair colour in, so it's now back to black. He's clean shaven.
Botox. He looks like he's had a bit of Botox. Yeah. He was looking particularly taut.
He's clean as a belt for WWE, basically. He's TV. He's like, I'm calling the best I can look.
Didn't he recently announce that he signed he's got a thingy contract with them now?
Yeah, Legends contract.
Yeah, Legends contract. Yeah, we're gonna see him back on a little bit more. That's why I'm hoping we're gonna get a bit more of this kind of ECW type vibe going on with them, maybe on NXT.
I'm assuming the way we're looking at it, we're gonna get Wesley and RVD in a singles match.
That could be interesting.
Or a tag match, maybe, like Javon and RVD against...
Yeah, I don't know if it'll be a singles match. Probably a tag.
Yeah, against Wes and someone else. Sean Spears.
Oh, yeah. Why not?
Just throw him in there. So yeah, after this we go backstage. Ava is with Stevie Turner and Robert Stone when Eddie Thorpe tries to get her attention, but she doesn't have time again.
No.
Because she's got to get ready for her special announcement. So, up next is the special announcement.
It's almost straight away.
Yeah. Just ads. WrestleMania. Royal Rumble.
I love an announcement of an announcement before a break.
Of course. Yeah. And as that announcement is about an announcement.
Announcement, yeah.
But Ava announces the return of the Iron Survivor match at Deadline on December 7th.
Yep.
And it'll be somewhere, it's not Philadelphia, because we're currently in Philadelphia and that's all that matters. Robert Stone. Robert Stone calls out Philadelphia for not being as hardcore as New York or Boston. It was very carny. It was very sort of like, hey, these people are better than these people.
Local sports team sucks. That kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly.
It fits in perfectly though. Let's be fair.
It does. And all I'm thinking is who's going to come out to do something here? Who's it going to be? Because it's going to be just like Stevie or Ava doing something. It's going to be someone. It's going to be someone else.
Yeah.
And then suddenly the lights go out, and when they come back on, it's only fucking Rhino. It was just so random because he's on TNA, so I just didn't think anything of it. Like I was like, Rhino's here.
Yeah, wasn't he? He was in the UK like last week as well. I'm pretty sure that's where he got the cut on his head. Yeah, I was like, oh shit, it's Rhino, nice. And then go.
He still has the best spear. Like, there's no question about it.
Oh yeah, he's got one of the best. It's a gore.
Like he's in his 50s, I think, or 40s, 50s, and he still hits the best spear in the business.
I don't actually know how old he is.
He's somewhere around there because he's like HCW alumni as well. Like he was there in the 90s in HCW.
He's still very active as well. So it's like he was. Let's have a look. He is 49 years of age.
There you go.
There you go.
He is shy.
Nice.
He's younger than Bobby Lashley.
Yeah. That still blows my mind. Shelton Benjamin's 49.
Yeah. Same age as Brock.
Yeah. It's like, how is everybody so fit and healthy at nearly 50 and I'm like 38 and I'm about a pensioner? Like,
Nikki, I'm 27, and I feel just as old.
She clearly should have gone into wrestling. I'm joking. They're all absolutely broken under the skin.
I've had a few wrestlers offer me to go to training classes before, and it's like I can't. I've got a fuck back. I can't do it anymore. I can't fuck up even more.
When I was younger, I wanted to be a wrestler so badly, but God, can you imagine? Like with my joints being how they are, even if I just like wave, I high-fived RPD at a South Pro show and dislocated my shoulder.
Oh Jesus!
So, and he didn't even go like it was just like a gentle high five, and I said, so imagine me as a wrestler. I wouldn't be able to do those spots though, where it looks like I've broken my arm or something. I'd have been able to do that stuff, but it wouldn't be worth it in the long run.
You could have solved for Zarya in a squash match.
Yeah. Just in pieces on the floor. Can't even be a referee. I tried to do a 3 count.
Like
I wouldn't make it.
2.
1. It's my arm just flopping around. It wouldn't work.
It's like 1, 2.
I have to do it with my feet.
You just start swimming and then just like 1, 2.
Headbutt the mat. 3. Can't medal Rich now.
Fucking hell.
Bring it back. What were we talking about? We're in Philadelphia.
Rhino. Yeah, Rhino in Philadelphia. There's probably a zoo somewhere in Philadelphia with rhinos, right?
You're gonna have to do a little cut with the 3 hours later.
Yeah.
Right. So he. Right. So Rhino gores him.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. So yeah, that is Rhino's payday for the show.
You know what though? He ate it.
Yeah.
Cool little cool part. Really nice nostalgia part.
Yeah.
Everybody's a winner.
Mm-hmm. Backstage, we see the 5 face women revel in the fact that Kalani can speak Spanish because they're talking, and then Vaquer's like signing Spanish, da, da, da. And then Kalani's like, guys, she's saying that we got to work together.
Yeah.
And then everyone's like,
after a really long pause as well.
Everyone's like, Kalani,
really long
you speak
pause.
Spanish?
You don't know each other. How are you supposed to be a team?
Yeah, I mean, you got what? You got someone who speaks Spanish, someone who speaks Japanese. You got 2 Americans and an Aussie. So, you know, it sounds like a really bad joke start. You know?
It does, doesn't it? It really does. But I do love the fact that they did make a point that obviously Kalani understands what Stephanie's saying, so like she's not just talking and they're all going to her. But yeah, I was like, why such shock? Like, because a lot of people speak Spanish, like especially like in Orlando. Like whenever I've been to Orlando, most people are speaking Spanish. So like, of course, and then but. It was a nice, cute little moment. She got to kind of connect.
Is Florida Southern State? I forget.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay, so it's near Mexico then, which is a very huge Spanish country. Yeah. Let's see country.
Yeah. Yeah.
Fair. So as they're talking, in come Metaphors, Lash Legend, and Jakara Jackson to brag a little bit about themselves, and then get in the faces of Stephanie and Julia.
Yeah, good for them.
Yeah,
I don't know if you saw them. Their
in Crown Jewel
appearances over on the main roster and Lash over on, and Crown Jewel and everything. They've been doing really well.
Yeah,
really well. I'm sure I read something the other day that Metaphor have been called up to the main roster. So I think they're doing like that split thing. You know, where they do.
I don't know.
I'm on both.
I think that was more just speculation rather than like a firm report.
Is it speculation? I didn't get to, because like as I saw it, it refreshed, so I didn't get to fully read it.
It's a really weird thing.
I hope so.
Because Oro Mensah's not ready for it, personally, in my opinion.
No. And
Noam Dar is allegedly out injured still. So it's really weird just to promote the 2 women of the group.
They still keep calling them Metaphor, like, which I was surprised, because they referred to them both when they were coming down to the ring at Crown Jewel as Metaphor.
Yeah.
So I don't know what's going on with it, but good for them.
Good for them, absolutely.
They're doing well, so that could be a really fun match.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, after that we hear the sound of the ego, which means it must be time for the next match of the night. I'll get to that in a minute. In match 3, it's a tag match. We have Ethan Page and Ridge Holland taking on a team I've called the Trickley Boys. It's Trick Williams and Bo Dudley.
Nice, the Trickley Boys.
So during Ridge's entrance, one of the fans in the front row looks at Ethan and does this thing, and you can see Ethan saying, "Don't do that. Don't do it. That's mine."
I'm gonna do it.
But yeah, the match itself, surprisingly, and I mean, I say surprisingly, I don't think it's a surprise to you, but Ethan and Ridge win when Ridge rolls up Trick.
Yeah, I was surprised. I was expecting a Trick win.
Yeah, So was I. I thought, is it Philadelphia, very pro-Dudley arena, nostalgia pop, yada yada, good guys win, send the fans home happy, sort of thing, you know? Like,
yeah. But I mean, I like the fact that it went a different way to what everybody was expecting it to go.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and yeah, the nostalgia pop. Like the Dudleys are one of the epitomes of like HCW. So yeah, of course you're gonna have them on there. You're gonna have some really cool spots for Bubba, which obviously got. It wasn't my favourite match on the card.
That does that does bring me to.
And it wasn't my favourite.
Yeah. So, despite the surprise factor of it, which is pretty cool, I rated it 1 3/4 stars. It was a 10-minute match that probably went 10 minutes too long. I get what it was meant to be, and I get what it was. It was a cheap nostalgia pop because you've got Bobby Dudley there in Philadelphia, home of Dudleys, etc., etc. It is what it is, but while also trying to push along a story to set up Trick's next title match.
Yeah.
Which, again, you know, it is what it is. I just didn't enjoy it because the match was very slow, and you've got, how do I word this diplomatically? You've got 4 people who aren't necessarily the best in-ring workers.
Individually, yeah.
Yeah, like you've got Bubba Ray, who is nowhere near the prime of his career. And even when he was in his prime, he wasn't that great. You've got Trick, who is probably the best of the 4 of them, but saying that, it's not by much, because there's not much of Trick either. You've got Ridge, who, you know, he's trying, I guess, but he can't find him to make himself work.
Yeah.
And Ethan, who gets along on just promo work, because he's a fantastic character and a fantastic promo, but his in-ring is standard. So it's just, this match didn't do it for me, and it was a shame because I just thought I wanted more from it.
Yeah, I didn't feel like the match necessarily really benefited anybody. Like, as I understand the reason why we had it. I was a huge fan of the Dudleys. You know, you hear that, and I immediately feel like a kid again.
Yeah.
But kind of beyond that, it wasn't the best match. It felt very, I mean, I know it's rehearsed, but particularly the moments with like Trick and Bubba, they definitely had things they rehearsed, because you could almost see Bubba being like, and now this, and we did. So it felt so like, because I really enjoy Trick. I don't think he's necessarily fully rounded yet, but he's definitely come on leaps and bounds, and I don't really feel like within that match it just didn't feel like a Trick match. You know, I mean, he's got his moves that he does, his skill set. Like, it just felt like the injection of Bubba Ray, or what it was they were, I don't know, it was fun, like, as a, what's the word I'm looking for, just to kind of sit and just enjoy the match.
Yeah.
But for it to kind of progress in or anyone, I didn't feel like it necessarily did that. Ridge, I like Ridge, but I want better for him. I'm pretty sure he's capable of more. I just don't know if he's getting the right dance partners. And same with Ethan. Some of the stuff I saw him doing on Ring of Honor, his ring work, was way better than what I've been seeing him doing. But I just don't know if it's a level thing of where his people that he's wrestling with are at, or, you know, he's just not been able to fully showcase it. That whole match felt more like a nostalgia than anything else, which is why I feel like everybody was a little bit lost in it somehow. It just didn't stick for me. I didn't necessarily enjoy it. I think I tuned out at one point as well. So but it was really lovely to see Devon.
Yeah.
I popped big for that.
Yeah, I did too, to be fair. But I'll get into that as well. So post-match, Ethan and Ridge attack Trick, but Bubba Ray saves him. Then Bubba tells Trick to get a table. Trick can't find a table. So what happened to the one that Jada put back? Come on, where's the continuity?
That's why she put it back under. She was like, no!
But no, because Trick can't find him, then we get Dudley Boy music, and out comes Devon.
Yay!
Devon, who's not in Dudley gear.
Oh.
So Bubba Ray made the effort, Devon didn't.
I don't know if there's like a thing. Like, did they even? They don't even do stuff together anymore, do they?
Not really.
So I don't know if he. I'm not sure. Bubba Ray in it.
Bubba Ray only wears the camo gear when he's in WWE. Otherwise, he'll wear like a vest top and like shorts or something.
Yeah, don't know if you saw him recently rock up to GCW. He'd do absolutely nothing in the ring. It's a cage match. He did fuck all.
Like JBL turned out and did more in GCW.
I said about him, the better.
I know.
keep him away, please.
Is he really a game changer?
I don't want him. I don't want to see him.
Speaking of people that you don't want to see,
we're gonna see him. We're gonna see. Yeah, speaking of things you don't want to see.
We go backstage, and we see Ashante Adonis and Dion Lennox. Dion's reading a book. Ashante's on his phone.
Mm-hmm.
Dion then approaches him and says something I didn't catch. And they're talking about, I think about women in general, I think he's
trying to give him advice on how to not be...
Yeah. Hey, Ashante, read this book about harassment.
Yeah. He's going to be the whole HR department, isn't he? Just on his own.
Yeah. Isn't there a team in, like, BritWres called the HR department?
There should be.
I'm sure there is.
BritWres needs an HR department.
But no, in comes Karma Petrovic to question Ashante. And at this point, it does genuinely seem like Karma's done with him. It's like, you know what? I don't know why I was interested in you, but I'm done with you. Yada yada, we're done. Through, etc. Goodbye. But no, he makes a comment about it being Karma's birthday last week. And that gets her back on board. And Dion is there in the background like, huh? This is manipulation. to put it plainly.
It's love bombing. Yeah, essentially. Why not? Why not?
You know, in a
great
world,
optics.
In a world where in a world that, you know, there can be a convicted felon in the Oval Office. You know, what's wrong with a bit of harassment of women in, you know, like, it's fucking ridiculous.
And it's literally, you know, we talked about they do the kind of GCSE theatre studies kind of bullshit teen drama stuff. I think that's what they're trying to do with this. And the insertion of what's being like, that's not really how you're supposed to talk to women is nice because we want guys calling out guys, but like, do it when he's doing it. Like, don't.
Yeah.
And it's cringy. I don't understand why it's a thing. What is it?
And
what's it for? Get out and do some wrestling. Stop. It's gross and it's really shitty optics.
Yeah. Also,
it's so shit.
Also very insensitive as well. In that, this could be a literal trigger warning, a trigger for people because manipulation and stringing along is a real thing.
And you know, like him being like, oh, I don't really care, oh, but happy birthday is kind of, it's just so, and her being like, oh, no,
that's not how
girls, no, that ain't it.
Calm,
it ain't it.
Just go back to doing your swing, honestly. Just like
yeah, go back. Just, you were having a good time. None of this crap. But part of me is hopeful. There's that word. I'm hopeful that this is going to serve some purpose. They have an opportunity here to have this play out the way it fucking should. And I don't think they necessarily have the bollocks to do that. And it should just not be a thing. And the adhonestly just makes me gag every single time. Don't make that a thing. It's so cringe. Because I like Ashanti the Adonis. I like him. I enjoyed him before, you know, they kind of did everything that they did to them all. He's great. He's got charisma. He's funny. He's got talent. Why have we got him doing this crap when he could be doing some actual, you know, some good wrestling, some getting some matches? I thought he was going to go into a thing with Cedric.
He came down to NXT with Cedric because they were a tag team.
Yeah, and I thought he was going to go and do something with Cedric or being some kind of pro, but now he's just floating around, just being a creep backstage. And yeah, it's all very odd. Less of that. He deserves better than being labelled a creep as well. Like, I'm pretty sure as a person, nobody wants that character.
I'm sure it's not his fault.
Not in 2024.
It's the writing, but...
Well, this is it. You can tell as well. It's just the age-old NXT, GCSE theatre bullshit that they do. But this particular one is icky. It just gives me the ick, and I feel it's unnecessary.
I feel like if they played more into like an ironic, like this is GCSE drama, like if they just literally had what we said before, it just, you know, lights out, spotlight, one person, monologue, like
stop,
yeah.
Steps forward.
Yeah.
He said happy birthday. Does that mean he really cares?
Yes.
Someone shout out a location. Yeah, it's going to be that kind of thing.
Oh, like the improv comedy.
Yeah. Anything but this. No, I feel like everybody involved in this little story deserves better, and it should stop. Petrovic was doing fine. I don't know why they've thrown her into a silly little love.
Like Dion's doing the right thing, you know, but
trying to educate his friend on how to be better, and I guess like trying to step in, but he could do it again, like.
But yeah, like we
it's no need. It's wrestling.
We've got harassment, trigger warnings. We've got manipulation. We've got stringing along. We've got love triangle. We've got fucking cheating shit. Like
it just feels very old WWE, and it's something they need to stop doing and let go of. And it's just not. It's
WWE. Can we bring in Kai to just chop a dick off? Like
why not?
Like
honestly, I remember that storyline as well. I remember seeing all that shit. Being like, why are they doing that to him? Have they got a sword? Like, and my mother hit like absolutely cackling, thinking the whole thing was hilarious.
Yeah.
Just like
just that shot of him being hung up like that, and you just see like the guitar like.
Yeah, it was chaos. Oh god. But yeah, no, the WWE need to do better with this kind of stuff, and NXT is part of that, and it's just shit optics. They need to stop it. So
yeah, exactly. It's not just doing better. It's just not doing this whatsoever. Like,
yeah. I mean, by all means, if you want to do some kind of love triangle storyline, there are ways to do it where it's not gross. There's no harassment. There's no stalking. There's no I mean, like, there's way, even that in parts was weird, but there are ways to do it without that, and it's 2024, so get a bit more creative.
Yeah, like we had
stop dipping into that same old well.
What was it? Roddy Osborne and Thea Hale stuff.
Yeah, that was fine.
Yeah, they were awkward crushes. That's what it was.
led to absolutely nothing in the end, if I recall.
Yeah, because I think she turned with JC's lot, Thea, and it was like, oh, actually, no, I'm not interested in you anymore.
Yeah, and then they just forgot about it, didn't they, after that? So, but yeah, nah.
It's just there's ways. Yeah, as you said, there's ways around this and ways to do it better, and it's just finding the formula that works for this particular thing, or just don't do it at all.
Yeah, it's lazy creative. If that's all you can keep coming up with, and you just keep dipping into the same well, I don't know what to tell you. It's crap creative.
Again, Lexis King was in the same boat, and they took him out of the boat.
Yeah, he was sinking in that boat. Doesn't work.
But yeah, let's move on. Backstage, the 5 heel women talk and brag amongst themselves. Cool.
Yep.
Anyway, they talk about the division being where it needs to be, and the champions hold titles high, and they beat the newcomers essentially. Even though,
oh yeah, that was it. Keep the newbies out.
Yeah, even though Jasmine is there.
Yeah. She stood right there. Yeah. She's like, yeah.
Yeah.
Keep out, newbies.
What they said.
Hoping they don't realise and remember. They are going to turn, I know, though, at some point, aren't they?
I imagine so.
I bet. Yeah, I bet. Bless her.
Unless they're going the full toxic attraction route with their influence, and then just the 3 of them run roughshod.
That's how it feels. They feel like the new toxic attraction.
So yeah,
definitely.
Except it's very much less. How do I word it? It's not as lewd as it used to be.
Not as overly sexual, but that was during the 2.0 where they were trying to lean a little bit too far into the sex and stuff. And it's like, but like Hollyoaks, what a wrestling show.
Hollyoaks, the wrestling show.
Yeah, that's what it felt like for a minute when it was 2.0.
What, Love Island? Anyway, we go on to match 4 of the night. It's for the NXT Men's North American Championship. And you're wondering why I'm saying men's and women's, because I'm making a conscious effort to not separate the genders of the belts. Well, I am. You know what I mean? I'm separating the genders to make it clear what one's which. Because just saying NXT Champion shouldn't apply to just being the men's title.
Yeah. It always seems to, doesn't it?
Well, right now, it's Roxanne is NXT Women's Champion and Trick is NXT Champion.
Yeah.
So Roxanne is also an NXT Champion.
NXT Champion, yeah.
Or just call or as I'm now saying it, Trick is the men's NXT Champion.
Men's, yeah. You know what? I never realised, but yeah, you're right.
So yeah. So NXT Men's North American Championship. Challenger Nunzio with Tony Marmaluke taking on champion Tony D'Angelo with the family. I will say, it's been 20 years and Nunzio looks almost exactly the same. He's just a bit older.
He hasn't changed.
He's just older. Like, the body is almost exactly the same.
No.
But probably to no one's surprise, Tony wins in Spinebuster. It was like 2 minutes.
I don't know how anyone was supposed to believe that Nunzio was going to beat Tony. Tony beat the biggest, scariest guy in NXT quite recently. Like, obviously he's gonna flatten Nunzio.
Yeah, exactly.
So as soon as it's like, you've got a match against me, I was like, oh well, this is going to be real quick, and okay.
Yeah, it was like cool. But we do remember that Nunzio was the guy who had like 2 minute matches on regular basis, right? Like Little Guido, like...
He's not wrestled in a long time. Well, he's been wrestling, but he's not and he's going to beat Tony.
Yeah. But of course, as we all saw, new North American champion, Nunzio. Could you imagine?
I don't even know. I would have been so cross.
Again, I rated this 1 star. It was exactly what it should have been. 2 minutes of Nunzio pretty much getting squashed the entire time. It wasn't a squash because, there's not much of Nunzio to squash. But I don't think I could add much more to that because it was just...
He fought valiantly. I did enjoy that they each went and got their respective weapons, the knuckle dusters and the crowbar. And there was that little kind of moment. It was just a fun little bit of again, a nice nostalgia, a bit of silliness. And this is the thing, Tony is not kind of afraid of doing some silliness. He does silliness. Yeah. So it's nice to kind of be reminded of that soft edge to him sometimes. Yeah. But yeah, there was not a chance in hell that Tony was losing that match. It was just a nice reminder that he's really big and really strong. And just a nice reminder that Nunzio still exists. Is still hilarious and still great and still... very much Nunzio. Yeah.
Did you notice as well that the spine buster? Tony holds him in the air, and they're just like.
It's a little bit slapstick comedy. It was great. Yeah. It was I'd give it a 2 just for that because it actually made me laugh. There was a couple of moments that made me laugh out loud, and again fit the vibe of because ECW wasn't always just about the violence. There'd be some silliness in there, and it was a nice mix. The show itself did a great job of kind of bringing the heart of ECW out as best as it could because it's still NXT. Yes. You can try, but you'll not be ECW, and that's fine. So within the realms of NXT's bubble, I think that they did really well, and having this match in there was, I think, a nice little ode to the ridiculousness that was. Yeah,
absolutely.
But yeah, it did it. It didn't really serve anything other than that.
But yeah, that's all there was to it. Pretty much, it was just another nostalgia pop because they're an ECW. Yeah. This is an ECW guy, so why not? Backstage, we finally see Shawn Spears. He's finally here with Brooks Jensen. And it seems that Shawn has Tony exactly where he wants him.
Yes, so he says.
By which we mean, obviously, that Shawn will lose Tony probably in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Because Tony will fight Brooks first next week, and then he'll fight Shawn the next week. And that'll be the title, and...
I mean, I'm looking forward to see where all this goes. I just want it all to kind of get there now.
Yeah. Because I think we've just sort of accepted now that Brooks is now with Shawn Spears.
I guess so. Yeah.
Because it's I don't recall.
I guess Shawn Spears some kind of manager now.
Yeah, I don't recall him having a moment where it was actually no, I see myself in you. I see, lead me, Shawn. I don't.
No, I think he just did kind of and that was it, really. Yeah. I don't recall there being a big epiphany, but maybe there was and I missed it. I might have missed it, because I know I have missed some things. Yeah. But, I don't know. Is Shawn Spears a manager now?
I guess.
Who wrestles?
I mean, he was injured for a little bit, so...
Yeah.
Maybe, I don't know.
We'll see where it goes. I like Shawn Spears.
Yeah.
Not currently. I'm not currently sure what his direction is in NXT, but I've always been a fan of Shawn Spears when he was in the other places. So
the chairman.
I live in hope. His little dramatic bloody pose on the chair. I always expect water to fall down when he was in AEW. There'd be like a silhouette, and he's just like drapes on the chair with his little hood on.
Like a fucking Rihanna umbrella. Just
Yeah. Starts dancing like Tom Holland.
Yeah. So I'm going like, hey. So yeah.
I need him to do that.
So we're still backstage, and I think a segment that was last week. And what for me is the best segment of the entire show. It's Lexus King, and he's with William Regal. And Regal's like, "Don't worry, lad, you did well, and you've proven that you're not your father's son." And then the Nexus is like, "Thank you, yes, And then that's all there is between Nexus and Regal, pretty much. And then Nexus walks off.
Mm.
Then in comes the NQCC.
Yes.
And all four of them are there, including Dempsey. And he's standing face to face with Regal, pretty much.
Yep.
And Regal's like, "Now, as for you, Charlie Dempsey, are you your father's son?" And like we're all like the audience is all laughing because we all like, you know it's that thing where like we know something the characters don't.
Yeah.
And it's like, because for those who don't know, Regal is the actual father of Charlie Dempsey. So
he's Charlie Dempsey's dad. Yeah.
So seeing all this, it was just like that tongue in cheek sort of like, oh
yeah. oh.
They don't really say much other than that. Regal then also says that there's a tag division for the taking, looking at Miles and Tavian for that. And then he leaves pretty much, and then Ren comes in saying, "Oh, he's really father-like William Regal, isn't he?"
Swear to God, if she starts some Daddy Regal thing. No.
She is the lifeblood of the NQCC.
I love her so much.
Mm-hmm.
Regal's gonna make them a new BCC, isn't he? Hopefully, there is new project.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how much work Ren would need to be the next Marina Shafir, but probably a fair bit of work.
Well, that's why he's in developmental.
That is true.
Plenty of time. No, it was a nice little segment. It's always good to see William.
Yeah.
And yeah, the kind of. And him saying as well to the thingy like, "Oh, it's not just his group, this is all your group."
Mm-hmm.
I kind of liked that.
I liked it, but then I'm just looking at Miles and Tavian and being like, it's not their group though, is it? Like, it's Charlie's, yes, and to an extent it's also Ren's, but it's not Miles and Tavian.
Not yet, which maybe that's the point. Maybe Regal highlighting them two doing some like stuff together on their own will make us then focus a bit more on them, which that might be the point. So, but yeah, it was a nice little nod. I didn't even because I just assume that everybody knows that William Regal is Charlie Dempsey's dad, so I didn't even consider that it was like a kind of thing at first, to be fair. I just assumed everybody knows.
Yeah,
but they don't.
That's how I interpreted it, because they were just like, oh, look at these two.
Yeah, and he said, "Oh, we'll see about that, won't we?" You know. So yeah, I think, it's fun.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I was wondering where we were going to see them two like actually interact,
because they've had, I think, before there'd been an interaction before them, but very short.
No. Yeah, I don't think really spoke.
Mm-hmm.
Charlie didn't. I don't think Charlie actually said anything to him.
Yeah.
So that's like the first proper like interaction between the two of them.
Yeah.
So I was wondering when they were going to do that, or if they were going to do that. So nice.
Absolutely. We have one more backstage segment before the main event. Ava is here once again, and she's approached by Fraxium, Nathan Frazier and Axiom. Ava says that she was impressed with their match last week, and Fraxium asked, like, "Oh, who's next for us?" And Ava's like, "I don't know. No one knows. What I'm going to do, though, is talk to the division, and we'll find out." So, I imagine that we're getting one of two things. Either a tag tournament to determine the next challengers, or what I prefer, the first ever tag team Iron Survivor match.
Ooh.
10 people, so 5 teams.
That could be fun.
Battling it for 25 minutes to get the most amount of pinfalls.
That would be actual chaos, though.
Yeah. It would be very chaotic.
That's a lot. That's a lot of people. Camera cuts like left, right, instead of be like the old days when it was like, oh, calm down.
Yeah. But I don't know. I was writing my notes for this and I was like, oh my god, it could be that. Like,
it could be, or they, like you say, or even like a round robin type tournament, maybe. But it's part Tavian.
Yeah, true. But of course, this wouldn't be a 7th Fraxium. There wasn't some sort of hostility between Fraxium. So Action was like, "Oh, sweet! So we got a down week to prepare and train more." And then they was like, "What do you mean, man? It's a down week."
Might as well have just said, "Shut up, nerd!" Like,
I'm gonna go hang out with people and play video games and
yeah. No, they've been teasing the Fraxium fracture for a while. Let's get it done. If that's what we're doing, let's do it. Rather than doing this kind of, I'm more committed than he is kind of thing. We did this a couple of months ago. Like, I'm hoping this is when they're just going to kind of pull the trigger on that one.
I feel like the tag team Iron Survivor, if that's a thing, is a very good way to get titles off of Fraxium. And to start that process of the split, because it's so chaotic that why wasn't Nathan prepared for this? Action was, but Nathan wasn't. Like,
they did that last time. This is what I mean. They did that. Mm-hmm. So, but I can understand it'll be even more explosive because it's like you did it again kind of thing. But yeah,
we will see.
Wasn't at the beginning of that segment, wasn't forgotten her name, wasn't Thingy carrying I've forgotten his name, on her shoulders?
Oh, Stevie and Stone.
Because Stevie, yeah, she was carrying him on her shoulders, wasn't she?
Yeah. I like how he's still saying effects of the gore from like an hour ago, but
yeah, and she's just got him draped over her shoulders like, come on, let's go. I feel like that she deserved a bit of a nod for that because that was pretty cool. She just made him look so light. She's just got him draped like Ace Ventura.
I didn't even write that down. I forgot about that. He mentioned just now.
Yeah. He's still selfish. You have to take him off to medical.
Yeah. But yeah, again, like, we notice again, like, Ava's not booking matches. She's just saying, "Oh, no. I'll do this, I'll do that," but no match has been booked.
But, to be fair, if she's been hanging around with Adam and Nick Aldis a lot, and they're the same, it seems, because like on Raw, it's like no matches are booked, which is suddenly like as and when just I'm making this match now. It's like, did you not have any matches planned? She's been hanging around with them. She's learning.
She's sitting back with a fedora hat on, smoking a cigarette, just like
just let it happen.
Wait for
matches just manifest themselves.
Just wait for the door. Hey, Ava.
So, and 3, 2, 1. She can hear in the distance like some like commotion. She's like, "Oh, they'll be here in a minute. Get my pen ready. Make it look like I'm doing something."
Yeah. Let me just.
Oh, I was just booking that match.
What a coincidence!
She's like, "Oh, that sounds like. Who does that sound like?" All right then, yeah.
Oh, just heavy feet
on the fly booking. Love it.
Just heavy stomping. Oh, it's Rich Holland.
Imagine if you were like an indie show and they just hadn't announced the card and they were just booking on the fly.
Yeah. I would love to be at that show. Unironically. Just
I feel like
the product announcer's gonna have no idea what's going on.
Who wants next? It's just
a
wrestlers me.
A constant open challenge. Is that
the open challenge wrestling show?
Oh,
one night only.
But it's like, you know, every December Progress Wrestling do unboxing.
Yes.
Was that they announced nothing beforehand? But
yeah,
obviously everything's booked behind the scenes. But
you know that there's something booked.
Yeah,
they give teasers and stuff. At least you know you've not got Liam that sat there going like on the night. Oh, do you know what, Reese? Have you got a few minutes? Let's see who else is here. Millie, come here. Millie Mackenzie, Bella Reese. This is happening now. Let's go.
Oh.
Simon Miller's just in the ring like,
title on shoulder. It's like,
A match scheduled for one fall?
One fall? A match.
Please, someone do that. That sounds like something Modern Nomad would do. Nomad would do that and get away with it.
2 out of 3 falls. 2 out of 3 falls.
I definitely feel like it's something Modern Nomad would do and pull off.
They would, yeah.
They did a whole Toy Story show theme, like the entire thing.
I do think
they could do that.
It's very different now having a themed show as opposed to having just a show where there's literally nothing booked.
Still feel like they could pull it off.
They
honestly.
could. They probably could.
So I feel like at the behest of post Greenwood, Ref Greenwood.
Yeah.
He'd hate that. That would be his idea. I bet he has nightmares about things like that. They're up to a show and it's not booked, but it's happening.
And the next
he's
match
the referee.
For the bus fare home.
I'll take it. Oh shit! Main event of NXT.
Right. So, main event of NXT was a 10-person tag match. We had Team Heel, which was Fatal Influence, Fallon Henley, Jessie Jane, and Jasmine Nix. Team with Cora Jade and NXT Women's Champion Roxanne Perez. Taking on the Team Face, which is Stephanie Vakir, Jordan Grace, Kalani Jordan, Zarya, and Julia.
That's a lot of people.
A lot of names.
A lot of people.
So, who would win in this main event in Philadelphia? Who would send the Philadelphia crowd home happy? And just a reminder for those who are just tuning in, we are in Philadelphia.
Philadelphia. This Philly crowd here in Philadelphia.
This Philly crowd here in Boston.
If anyone from Philadelphia is watching this, we are so sorry.
Yeah. Honestly, I love you guys. I love your cheesesteaks. Like, I've never been to Philadelphia.
So good though.
I've never been to Philadelphia, but I'm assuming they're good.
I've never had a actual one in Philadelphia, but really good.
Mm-hmm. Like, I want to go one day to Philadelphia. Just I've never been.
I'd love to go.
Mm-hmm.
to watch wrestling as well.
We could book that, Nikki. Group trip.
Do loads of videos. We're in Philadelphia.
Hey guys, where are we? Can you guess? Here's a statue. Here are the famous steps in Rocky. Where are we?
We just go get real obscure tourist locations, not the ones you expect, not the bell, not the statue, just really random places, just bins.
Here's Gino's.
Oh, I can't even remember who won the main event.
Sorry,
mine's gone blank.
The winners of this match to send the crowd home happy were the faces.
Oh, yes, of course.
They win when Zara hits her F5 or Cyclone move on Roxanne.
Yeah.
So that's twice. That's twice that Roxanne has taken the losing pin.
Oh God, yeah.
She took the pin as well, didn't she, to Stephanie Fakir in the tag match with her.
She did. Was it? I thought it was Cora. Oh no, it was. It was. Sorry, I thought it was Cora. No, and also, not before, she accidentally speared Jordan Grace.
Yeah. So I think, there's layers upon layers upon layers upon layers of this. There's we're building.
It was a busy match. There was a lot going on.
Yeah, we had Fallon, JC, Jasmine doing their thing, Cora, Roxanne doing their thing, Stephanie, Julia killing it, Zara looking like a beast, Jordan killing it, and Kalani looking lost.
Yeah.
Kalani.
She's. I like Kalani. She's getting so much better. However, she in that match had, when there's like everybody's in the ring, there's all that chaos. She's literally just stood there at one point, like,
run.
What do I do?
Run at someone.
Just do something. Run at someone. Get out of the ring. Lift the apron up. Just run around. Just do something. Yeah. Don't just stand there and then wait for your next spot, which is climbing up onto the turnbuckle, and then like walk up. It was just, there was a few moments where it's like, I feel like that was supposed to be Kalani's like coming out, kind of, I'm part of this really strong team, and she is part of that really strong team, but not the focal point.
And it comes back into something that I say about Trick Williams, in that she is sort of being shoehorned into these certain situations where she was the third person with Bianca and Jade. She was the third person with Stephanie and Julia. Like, she's now the fifth person in this team.
Yeah.
Like, you've got
they're very
like, even Zarya, who has only been here for 2 weeks, and she's already a big star in her own right.
Yeah. She was drowning a bit. And she does tend, like, they obviously see something in Kalani, and there is something there. She's talented, like, you can't question her talent, like, Olympic level talent.
Yeah.
But she is still very early in her career, NXT career, and I think sometimes in NXT, and it works, and sometimes it doesn't work. They take someone that's clearly got a lot of potential, and they put a title on them for a little minute, then they take it off them. They give them a big run, and then the title goes back on them again. And then that's kind of like their, not final form, but their next level form.
Yeah.
And I think they were doing that with Kalani, but I don't feel like it worked per se. I think it was a little bit too soon. She wasn't, when they put it on her initially, didn't look too comfortable. She was still clearly like thinking ahead, moves ahead. You see that? That's part of developmental. That's part of what I love about NXT, is seeing that state, that process. But it feels like they're kind of going, look at her, she's amazing, she's great, and I feel like they're kind of putting her in situations that are almost too big for her. and that kind of makes her stand out, not in the way that you want her to. Mm-hmm. She looks like the weaker one when you want her to look like the stronger one. So give her more singles matches. Mm-hmm. Stop shoehorning her into all these big teams and big moments. Let her build her own. Let her create her own stories and moments. Get those kind of single, one-on-ones down more. Then start putting her into that stuff. I just feel like it's going to be detrimental to her. Mm-hmm. But sometimes the sink or swim in NXT works. I've seen it work with Brecca, saw it work with Mello. I felt Mello struggled a little bit at first and then really got going. Brecca started strong, struggled a bit when they turned him heel, I think, was it? Or face? And then kind of got it back again. And with Trick, they've done the same thing with Trick. I'm interested to see how a heel Trick goes, because that seems to be the formula we've noticed. Yeah, is that they eventually go heel, and then it means they've tried everything. They've done champion, heel, base. So they've done a bit of everything, but I feel like it's worked a little bit more with Trick, not as well as it did with like Valkyria and everyone like that. But I feel like they've done it a little bit too soon with Kalani. Mm-hmm. I just want,
Kalani was brought in, and I think she was in the breakout tournament. I think it was.
Yeah.
She was in that, and then she lost it to Lola Vice. That was it, wasn't it? Because that was the final.
Yeah.
And with Trick, he had a good amount of time being Carmelo's hype man.
Yes.
So Carmelo. So Trick was getting that in-ring time, on-screen appearances. He was getting that while being in the shadow of Carmelo, because Carmelo was the star of that group, of that duo. And then obviously they did that whole storyline with the breakup, and then Carmelo and Trick had their shockingly poor 2 matches. It is what it is. And Trick and Kalani are being pushed in a similar way, but as you said, it's in different stages of their in-ring careers. It works better for Trick because Trick's been in the public eye for much longer than Kalani has.
Yeah.
But it's the same thing. Like I said before, like with Stephanie and Julia, she was the third person. With Bianca and Jade, she was the third person. Like in Trick's case, we've had him rubbing shoulders with CM Punk, with John Cena, with Jey Uso, and now with Dudley's, and now it's very clear what they're trying to do here, and it strikes me.
These are our top.
It strikes me as a Roman Reigns situation.
Yeah.
With both of them, really, in all honesty, like Reigns was not literally, but metaphorically shoved down our throats in the years of 2014 to 2018, sort of 2019, and then obviously he had his leukemia stuff, and that's what it was, and he came back a heel. And he's done wonders as a heel, Roman Reigns. But
really has.
With Trick, it's a case of I don't know how he got over. Like, he has an aura, I guess, about him. I don't see it personally because I tend to see the bullshit. Like. It's like people who are there in the arenas, and there's no shade to them. They can go there, enjoy what they enjoy. But I feel like they're fed certain directions. So when you see this guy, cheer for him. You see this guy, boo that one. And it feels very much like a live audience for a sitcom. Like, they're told when to cheer, they're told when to boo, and. To me, and I think, cause again, I think most of when they're in the PC, it's normally free attendance for tickets, and normally you ain't gonna pay for the PC tickets. The arenas, I think you do.
Yeah, you do.
It makes sense, but I don't know. I can't get behind Trick the way that seemingly everyone else does. And I find it really bizarre. No one sees Craig does, but how no one sees what I see.
Yeah.
Like I think
No, I get.
I think you see it to an extent, Nikki, but
Yeah, I think that so. Like in general with wrestling, I think they do tell like it's kind of like in pantomime. You know who to cheer, you know who to boo from their presentation. So even if I'm one of those people. I love heels, so I tend to cheer a heel anyway. But if you know who to cheer and who's supposed to be booed and who you're supposed to give abuse to and who you're supposed to just like, yeah, they're the best. But sometimes it is frustrating when they over tell you, and they can do that. Like they do it with Roman Reigns. They've done it. They've come close to doing it with Bianca Belair. Just like, and again, Bianca Belair. They don't need telling us. Like we can see it. Just keep giving her good stuff, giving her good stories. We don't need like a John Cena or anyone like that anymore. We don't need that. And I think, with Trick, he's got star quality. He looks great. He connects with the crowd. He's very charismatic. He has got in-ring talent that isn't fully tapped yet. If you think about how early he is in his career still, he's not fully tapped everything that he's got, and he's going to learn from all the different people that he gets to wrestle and work with, especially if he does eventually go up to the main roster. I don't think he's ready for the main roster yet. I think he needs a little bit more time. Like, there was a moment with Brecker where it's like, oh, he's ready to go. But they were telling us before that. That he's great, and I felt this way about Bram Brecker, that they were telling us he's the dog's bollocks before I believed he was. I could see he was great, I could see the potential, but I was like, I don't like how much you're telling me he's the guy. But NXT does that. They pick, or at least like the breakout tournaments, I feel sometimes help them pick a guy and a gal to be their top people for the year. And I think that's fine, but sometimes they do go overboard with it. And I think that Trick needs more time before he is fully the guy. But he's definitely on his way. Kalani, I'm not too sure.
I think personally that if you look in the history of wrestling, the best eras are the ones where there isn't just one guy on top. So, like
SmackDown 6, SmackDown 7, SmackDown 6.
6, yeah. Like at the time, you had Taker, you had Batista, you had the Rey Mysterio. You had your top guys, and you knew who they were. Like. Recently, like we've had, John Cena as just Cena, and then we had Roman Reigns as just Roman Reigns, and everyone's sort of a level behind him. And then you go like older into the 80s and stuff. Like I won't name names, but we know who was the head of the Golden Generation. Then you go into the new era. What's it called? The new Foundation. I don't know what it's called somewhere now. But it was like
Renaissance.
No, it was like the early to mid 90s.
I don't remember.
We had you had your Bret Hart, Shawn Michaels, even Taker was there at the time. And he was a top guy. Like, it's those eras work better when you're on multiple high level or high tier talents.
Absolutely.
And there's a reason why people say Ruthless Aggression is one of the best eras, or why the Attitude Era is one of the best eras, because look at the number of people that were at the top of the food chain back then.
Yeah. There's multiple, and that's the thing as well, is it's anyone, it feels like anyone and everyone can have that chance because there's multiple slots. When you've only got one of each, it kind of it narrows it too much. I know they haven't got as many, people, but there's definitely several women on that roster that deserve top spots and several men on that roster that deserve top spots, not just one. But then I try and remember that it is like developmental, and it has like it has to be more condensed in a way, I guess, for everybody to kind of get time and the chance. But sometimes it does feel like it goes on a bit too long, and they are at risk of just not being necessarily too fair with it either. Like when it feels like there's more chance for someone to get a spot and be at the top, makes it a little bit more exciting. But when you're like, oh, Brecker's gonna win because he's the top guy, Roman's gonna win because he's the top guy, you know, it gets a bit, it just kind of removes the fun a little bit from it, the chaos from it a little bit.
Yeah. But yeah, that was a tangent. That started on Kalani Jordan. So yeah, the faces won the match. Rated rated it 3.25 stars. It was a good match. I enjoyed it. It wasn't a bit much because of the chaos factor of it all. There's 10 people in this match, so there's a lot to keep up with.
A lot of people.
But you know, like I advocated a few minutes ago for a tag team Iron Survivor, so I'd be quite a hypocrite if I said I didn't enjoy this. Like, you know, like, but I think the most important thing here is the stories are building to. Like, so while the match was it was good, you know, there's more under the surface here. So, you know, Roxanne's been pinned twice now by Fakir and now by Zarya.
Yep.
We've got Zarya and Jordan potentially coming to blows. We've got, you know, Kalani and Fallon. That's booked for next week anyway.
Yeah.
Like that's definitely happening, and Fallon's going to retain because she has JC and Jasmine. Like,
yep.
But there's things that are building here, and saying that, I do honestly believe Julia is going to win the Iron Survivor for women.
Yeah.
And she's going to win and probably beat Roxanne for the title. Because that's
what I think. I think the same.
We've been shown that Julia got screwed out of beating Roxanne.
Yeah.
So I think we're building to
it's all coming to a head.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, the match served, like, again, hats off to them for, again, they show the thing about NXT, I will always give them praise for. They really know how to utilize their women.
Mm-hmm.
They multiple women's matches, main event, starting the show, different match types, maybe even the first hardcore one if that's legit. Like, so I always give NXT credit for the way they believe in their female talent. And they don't get enough credit for that, I think. And so, again, all women main event, love it. It heals a little something in my young soul because I grew up in the Attitude Era. So as you can only imagine, I only saw like China.
Yeah.
And eventually Lita wrestling properly.
Or Ivory.
And Ivory, but like, they were it's very sexualized still. I think China was the only one kind of for a while who wasn't. Or on screen, it's the whole thing. Yeah. But getting to see that kind of representation now is always fantastic. And they all went out there. It was chaos. Like you say, it really kind of padded out some stories, set out some paths. Yeah, it was fun.
Yeah.
Set some interesting stuff up. Got to see what Zarya's all about, because like just been seeing her posing up a storm and looking really strong and stuff. So it was nice to actually see.
I really intensely staring at people.
Yeah, she does that.
Just staring.
Killer hair. Absolutely love her hair. Yeah, it was a really fun match, and the Julia and Stephanie make such a great team as well. And their, obviously, like, eventual one-on-one match is going to be glorious, isn't it? Like, it's going to be beautiful. So I'm excited about this injection of new, like, female talent into the roster. I think it's really kind of got a buzz around it at the minute, and I think NXT are really kind of picking up on that and running with it, and I'm excited to see what other weird and wonderful glorious chaos we get with these ladies over the coming months.
Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, exactly as you said, like, the women are showcased spectacularly here. And
yeah,
I remember the hardcore match, I remember the 10-person tag match. And for the men's stuff, I remember, like,
yeah.
Like,
yeah. That's a good point.
Like, it's just, like, while Wesley and Javon was really good, I don't remember much of it, other than RVD appearing. And the botch finish.
It was pretty short. Yeah, I feel like it was pretty short.
It was about 10 minutes, I think, so...
Yeah.
By their standards, it's pretty long.
The overall show, for me, it was great. It felt good. The pacing was nice. It just ran really smoothly, but it felt really quick. It just flew by.
That's the thing as well.
It's not necessarily a bad thing, though.
These shows on CW now, they are running shorter because they can't do an overrun.
Yeah.
So they genuinely feel shorter as well, which is a much nicer breath of fresh air. Like, we're getting closer back to the 1 hour NXTs, and it's like, I really fucking loved the 1 hour NXTs.
Yeah, and the backstage segments and stuff were not lingering too much. I just, we're taking out all the long pauses. It's just bam, 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 bam.
Yeah.
And so it flowed really nicely. But, I mostly remember the women's matches too.
Adhonestly, I agree.
It bookended the show nicely.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well done.
Yeah, good job, us. But yeah, that was NXT. And that brings an end to this review. And amazingly, we didn't do 3 hours of this. So, I think...
Getting better!
What we've come to learn from this is that Craig is the reason why it goes so long.
Really, Craig?
You know,
it's Craig's fault.
Like, just you and me, we went an hour 40 something.
Smooth sailing. It's Craig and Mike.
Exactly. They're the issues here.
We're not the problem.
No.
Couldn't be.
Not at all. No. Like,
I have never in my life derailed any other podcast in my life.
Like, no derailing, no tangents, and certainly not me who can't tell someone to get on with it. Like,
I know for a fact that bloody damn it vacant guys will be sat there going, she's full of shit.
But no, that does bring an end to this review and to this episode of the podcast. Episode 64. And yeah, in regards to social medias, I put Nikki's Twitter on there, Pencilled In _Nick. But where else can the people find you?
You can find me on Instagram, TikTok, and Blue Sky, and also Threads with all the same name.
Cool.
And also you can find a Discord. We have a Discord, Pencilled In Discord, where everyone is welcome. No tribalism, just good vibes and wrestle talks and quizzes. We get lots of quizzes now. I love it.
Yeah. No, it's a great environment to be part of, and if you're a tribal chief, you're not allowed in. But
I'm the tribal chief. That is good.
Raiders ones. I acknowledge Nikki. But no, that was of course Nikki, and in regards to myself, I'm my Discord, my Twitter is there. There we go. But I'm also on Blue Sky. Well, I'm not on Blue Sky. The podcast is on Blue Sky. And our other outlets are just at the bottom of the screen here. So our Instagram, Facebook, Twitter or X, and Twitch. Twitch is something, I don't know. I keep saying it's coming back, and then I do it for like once or twice, and I forget about it. Like, it's just.
I have a Twitch too, and I keep forgetting about it.
It's just finding the time to do a stream. Like, it's.
Since our computer set on fire, I've not really because this thing doesn't work with Twitch.
Yeah. I still find it bizarre how a computer just set alight, but.
Just burst into flames.
That could be a stream for you.
Hex to tell you.
Oh, but no, that does bring an end to this. So please, if you enjoy it, please like, share, subscribe to the channel. It's all free stuff to do, and it helps us immensely. And with that, I believe that is it. So, I've been Dan, DpuizY. I've been joined by the wonderful Pencilled In Nikki. And we will see you next time.
Bye.